Hello and happy Friday. It's Coach Becky with your Friday Fit Tip. So this month we're talking about functional exercise, exercises that mimic normal human movement. This week we're talking about the squat. Now, we've talked about squat mechanics before with some of my Friday Fit Tips. This week what we're going to talk about is how to change the angles of pull on your squat, change the muscles that are being activated a little bit, or even make it a little bit harder in a home situation where you may not have a big old bar to put on your back or hold on your collarbones. So what I'm going to show you can be done in most cases with things that you have around the house or some lighter weights that you have around the house as well. So let's start with a basic squat and add a little bit of upper body activity so that we use the upper back muscles more in our squat, and this helps us all day long with posture. It's called a prisoner squat. Interlace the fingers behind the head. We take that normal squat stance, a little wider than hip width, and we squat. Looks like a piece of cake, right? And it is. However, what we're doing by having these arms back is we're not allowing the body to round forward on a squat, which sometimes we see when we're training a squat. From there, what we can do is we can take the arms overhead, a little harder, still got that nice squat stance, and down we go. This is called, at least where we train here, an overhead squat. So, looks simple, but what we see when we train this here is we often see people bring the arms down. To actually keep the arms up here at the ears is rather difficult, and we're activating a lot more muscle in our back and the muscles that control the shoulder blades when we do this overhead squat. Why is that important? Well, if you sit all day at a computer or driving, get my point? We overstretch the mid and upper back muscles. So by bringing the arms overhead, we get some activation of those back muscles, and they also support us in a really good squat. So let's say you want to make it a little harder. We can grab a light med ball. This one has handles, but you can use a ball without handles. It doesn't really matter. I take my nice squat stance, arms are overhead, and off I go. So now, I gotta work to keep my upper body up, because I kind of want to fold over like a taco, but I can't do that. I gotta keep those arms up overhead. So, we've taken a basic squat, and we've added a little bit of mustard on it by adding a little bit of external weight. You could use a basketball, and really you could use no ball. I showed you with just the arms. You don't have to have a lot of resistance on this. It's simply to get the back muscles to activate a little bit more. Now let's move on to what we call here a goblet squat. We take a kettlebell, but it could also be a dumbbell held at the bell, so lengthwise. We hold it up at our chest, and we put our elbows down by our ribs, and we sit in that squat. And what's that doing? Once again, with this weight in front of me, it is creating my back, some tension in my back muscles, so that I have to keep these muscles firing to stay somewhat upright and not fold over like a taco. So you can use a 10-pound weight, an 8-pound weight, a 15-pound weight, whatever you can use and still keep really good form. Moving on from there, this is one of my favorites. It's not for the faint of heart. It is a more advanced squat, but it doesn't need a lot of weight. We call this a 3-2-1 squat. What we do is we have our clients sit at a chair or a bench just to have something to aim toward. You don't need the bench, but it's nice to have in case you need to sit. We're going to go down for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a full stop. I'm not sitting on the bench. I'm just hovering. And then I'm going to come up fast. So I go slow, slow, slow on the down. Push up on the up on that number 4. So we're stretching the glute muscles slowly, and then we're digging our feet into the floor and coming up quickly. It trains the muscles very differently than a standard squat, and it's just a nice way to get a little variation and also increase the difficulty. And then finally, we can take a stretchy band. I'm not going to take the time to throw this over my legs like pantyhose, but if you happen to have one of these circle bands or one that you can tie in a knot that you might have gotten from physical therapy, you can take one of these stretchy bands, put it over the knees, and as you squat, let's say just a prisoner squat, you're going to push that band out and come up and squat and push out that band. Now we're not trying to totally turn the legs out, we're just giving a little outward pressure on this band because it's giving us some resistance. And what that's going to do is activate some muscles up underneath the major butt muscle called the gluteus medius, which for you means you're working on the deep hip strength of your hip complex, the deep muscles of your hip complex. So if you happen to squat and turn your knees in, that's the exercise for you, because we're going to have you push out on resistance to give you a little bit of extra training and a little bit of extra muscle work on that functional squat. Those are great squats just to try something different. And as soon as you know how to do a basic squat, try the overhead squat, try the goblet squat, try the negative squat, or try that band push out. These squats will help you become more functionally fit. If you can squat well, you will do better in normal everyday activities, like getting out of your car, getting down to pick up the groceries or a small child, or picking up something from the ground, anything. So here's to being more functionally fit by practicing functional exercises. This is Coach Becky with your Friday Fit Tip. Make it a great day.